Here we go.
This is what you would see if you were a drone soaring high above Virginia farmland. Virginia Tech University has been flying these unmanned aircraft systems for years. But now the research will take off with more significance. The FAA has grounded most commercial drones until it announces rules for how they can share national airspace with airliners. This is one of 6 test sites around the country that will send the FAA data from which to write those regulations.
UAS can do things that manned aircraft can't.
That's Rose Mooney, the executive director of the test site, which extends through Virginia, New Jersey, and Maryland.
Our first flight is going to be a larger aircraft that hasn't been flown unmanned in the national airspace. I believe that by showing that, we'll not only show the industry that we as a test site are leaning forward, but that we also will show the FAA that we can do the smaller and the larger.
An air data sensor, common on manned airplanes, has been added to this E-Sparrow. The probe records airspeed and altitude. It feeds the data through tubes to a computer that analyzes stability. All this will be sent to the FAA to evaluate if this type of drone is allowed in the national airspace. This is a device the FAA may look at to guarantee greater safety. A pilot on the ground wears these goggles to see the flight from the plane's perspective, as if he's on board. If ground pilots can see this view, they can better gauge direction and avoid obstacles. Once the FAA issues the rules, the potential of drones is limitless.
Typically, it's the dull, dirty, and dangerous type applications.
Researcher Justin Stiltner means jobs that are dull, dirty, and dangerous, like entering areas of radiation, raging hurricanes, or simply passing over rows and rows of corn. Professor Craig Woolsey says farm studies are the main focus.
We're trying to feed the world, right? And so we need to do better at how we do agriculture so that we can continue to improve crop yields. And that drives us towards ever more and more technology.
Ready for range check?
Rose Mooney thinks the integration of drones is as big a step as the introduction of jet engines. But the drone industry is at a standstill until the FAA publishes the regulations, not expected until late next year. In Blacksburg, Virginia, Carolyn Presutti, VOA News.